dang, y'all already up in here. All right, let's see. Let's pull this up. Hey, okay. Yeah. Switching it up today, y'all. I was on a run, so I said, let me go ahead and talk this. Let me talk this matchup while I'm cooling down. I'm on the trail right now, so I said, let me go ahead and get this thing in. Y'all can hear me, right? Let's see. Moore's audio. What's up? BJ. Uh-oh, BJ said, let's make it happen. Speak it into existence. Exactly, man. Let me know if y'all can hear me though, man. Robot Chicken, what's up? Who else you got? I'm feeding you. Hey, a bunch of geese out here. Uh-oh, got Marcus Bell in the building. He said Tisha got bumped up to number 9. Angela Hill was bumped down to 14. That sounds about right. That's about right. Yeah, this one we focusing on BJ's girl versus mine. All right. All right. Yeah, two beats. What's up? He said loud and clear. Y'all can hear me loud and clear. All right, cool. I saw your video last night, BJ, so I said, let me go ahead and do my, not even response. I just want to talk it up too, man. It makes sense. It's a fight that makes sense. Hang on here. Trying to catch a little breather. Feels good out here too, man. I gotta get under the shade, man. It's hot as hell out here. Hey. All right. We get started here like at the 4-minute mark. Just want to get situated while I'm walking. Yeah, I said, look, I'm gonna get on here, talk about 20, 30 minutes about the fight and just give you my opinion on the match now. I mean, it makes more sense now because, you know, Miranda, hate to say she lost, but yeah, she got an L on paper. But that don't really mess up her stock though, you know what I mean? All right. All right, y'all. One more minute, we'll do this thing. Man, BJ dropped the Jillian Robertson too, man. Man, Jillian, Jillian versus Andrea Lee. He was dropping some matchmaking last night. I mean, you know that one. That's the one. That's the one we needed. Like, what was it last year? Yeah, that fight was supposed to happen last year, y'all. Mm-hmm. So that's the update. Tisha's number 9. Angela Hill is 14. I mean, before I get started, what do y'all think of that match? I mean, that makes sense. Miranda and Montana now. I mean, of course, if Miranda got that W over Macy, that's what I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna just say she got the W over Miranda. I ain't even gonna call it a loss. You hear me, BJ? I ain't gonna call that no loss, man, because that's just how they do, man. That's just robbery. That's all that is. So yeah, yeah, that's a good match though. Let's see, Andrea Lee and Jillian Robertson though. Yeah, that fight was supposed to happen. I still like that fight too. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get to talking, man. So yeah, I saw BJ's video last night, and I said, okay, yeah. I'm glad he's talking the fight up. You know, it ain't like he's saying, oh, Montana going in there and thrash her or nothing like that. So, you know, I respect BJ's matchmaking there. He just wants to see a good fight like me. I want to see a good fight. And I think he broke it down pretty well on his end. And some of the things I want to talk about similar, but you know, we're kind of going a little bit more in depth while I'm here, just talking here. But let's see. As far as the ranking go, so Miranda's number 14, Montana's number 15. Montana, she's coming off of that win over Ariane Lipsky, so she's trying to fight her way up. Makes sense. Miranda got dealt. We'll just say Macy got the W over. That's all I'm gonna say. I ain't gonna say loss. So she got the W over Miranda, right? So Miranda, that messes up her chances of fighting up. So she's got to fight down. So you got Miranda meeting in the middle with Montana, right? Makes sense. Daniel said Montana going to be the sacrificial lamb for the sins of those judges. That's what I'm saying. To be said, two combo works, BJ. Now you know, BJ. If they make that fight, we're gonna have to get them both on, right? If they get on, if they make that fight, man, we got to get on there, get them both on. Shoot, man, we get them on. We speaking it into existence. So yeah, yeah, man. And BJ, if they ink the fight, man, she better answer you. She better get on there, cause you gonna be the ones responsible for making it happen, man. Same with the Roxy Montana. You were talking to that into existence. Roxy, she hit you back. She responded. Let's see, Daniel said, De La Rosa's fought good level for a long time, but fights like this come down to mileage. De La Rosa's taking more damage. She has taken some damage, but I give her a little bit more credit, though. I give her a little bit more credit. She's got guts, though, man. Gotta give her that. She's only 26, too, man. So she still got a lot in the tank, man. Mm. So yeah, man. Hold on. Getting up under the shade, and I'm about to sit down here, and I'll talk to y'all in a minute. Cause let's see, Miranda's 23, Montana's 26. So yeah, and she has taken some notable damage throughout some of her fights. But like I said, she's still a three-round fighter though. She got a lot in her tank, man. When she's fighting, she never quits. That's why she's dangerous. As dangerous as Macy Barber is. You know, Macy's dangerous with the power, and Montana's dangerous on the ground. You know, so there's always that threat. You know, Andrea Lee clearly beat her, but she almost got a scare in that third round. And Montana almost got her. You know, and yeah, that's a point, Daniel. I mean, you know, the nose is always a target. You know, if Miranda wins this, we're gonna call her the nose collector. Because this is another one she gonna open up. You're gonna have another nose collector in the house, man. She break that nose. Says a vet. Yeah, yeah, she got a vet gas tank. It's almost like Roxy's, you know, on her level. Yeah. And she is a grinder. That's why I say she's dangerous, man. There we go. All right, y'all. So I'm situated now. Now we can really talk. So yeah, I think this fight makes a lot of sense now. It definitely makes a lot of sense. You know, we got Miranda and Montana meeting in the middle. One needs to fight down, one needs to fight up. Montana, You know, she's been in the UFC for a minute now, and for what happened to Miranda in her fight against Macy, this is another good test. You know what I mean? Because even though I can say Miranda won the fight clearly in my eyes, there's something else that she has to conquer, man. Like Miranda has to go back and do like I said. You know, you got to check all those boxes off. You know, in order to win a fight, you gotta have all your bases covered when you're trying to fight. You know, if you're not gonna knock somebody out or submit them, there's so many things you got to cover in all three rounds. Like if you're not gonna knock them out, if you're not gonna submit them, every round has to be dominant. You know, every round has to be dominant. So this is a good chance for Miranda to take a step back, fight a 3-round fighter, a tough 3-round fighter that's dangerous, that's always alert, and make sure she can win all 3 rounds clearly. If not, you have to go in there and knock her out or submit her. Right? So this is another little minor setback, but a good test for Miranda in the future. That's why I say like the Macy fight didn't go her way, but it's still a learning experience for her. You know, there's a lot to take from it. It wasn't like she was knocked out. Macy had the judges on her side. That's all we can say. Like when I go back and look at the fight with Miranda, I can pick certain things and say, okay, she didn't do this, she didn't do that. But it wasn't like, oh man, her defense was horrible, or oh man, like she was gassed out to the point she couldn't breathe, like Viviane Araújo was doing. You know what I mean? Like it's minor mistakes for Miranda Maverick. It wasn't like big things like, oh, she can't strike or oh, she ain't got power. Like you seen how she nullified Macy Barber's power, right? She nullified the power. She was strong in there. She attacked the body. That's why I'm like, what were people not seeing in that first round against Miranda and Macy? Like she was attacking the body. Like, do you not count body strikes? Like, what is wrong? Like, people are y'all not looking at effective striking? Like, y'all, everybody was saying that the round was tied. I'm like, what the hell did Macy do? Macy didn't do anything. She was pushing the fight in the first round. It wasn't no feel out round for Miranda Maverick. So I was impressed with that. So, but if that's not going to count, then yeah, you got to turn it up a little bit more. You know, you got to turn it up a little bit more. So for Miranda, yeah, like going back, taking a step back, fighting a fighter like Montana De La Rosa is definitely it's going to be a feather in her cap. You know, you're gonna step up against a dangerous opponent. I know some people say she's shot worn, you know, but she's still young and she's big and dangerous, man. She's big and dangerous. Not the best technically, but she definitely is a threat. She's definitely a threat to keep Miranda alert for 3 rounds. And that'll make Miranda have to work on the gas tank as well. You know, no gassing out. You know, there's no time for that. Viviane Araújo, when she fought Montana, she almost gassed out in the 3rd round, right? And she started getting touched. She still won the round, in my opinion, but she started getting touched. Like you can't go stationary against Montana. You know, you got to have footwork. You got to be able to move your feet in these fights with all these fighters that take on De La Rosa. For Montana, this is a fight she needs because she's got to step out of the box of just beating the lower level fighters. Montana De La Rosa, she needs a name like Miranda on her record, and she needs to win convincingly because, yes, she's been in the UFC and she has a lot of wins, and she has more experience, but that's on the low tier. It's about time she steps up and beats one of these higher level fighters. She couldn't do it against Andrea Lee. She couldn't do it against Viviane Araújo, right? She beats fighters like Rachel Ostovich, no problem. She'll beat a fighter like Ariane Lipsky. Yeah, you got more wins than Miranda, but you're beating this level of fighter, and you struggle against these type of fighters, the elite fighters. So she's in the middle somewhere. She's in the middle somewhere. Well, I say she's on the lower level. Like she's on that lower level right there. She's hanging by a thread. Because we've seen so much more of Montana already. We already seen so much more, and we already kind of got more to gauge off of her. because we've seen how her skills fare against the level she's fighting, the level of opposition she's fighting. We've seen how it fares. So you got on Montana's side, she's got to go in there and say, I got to dominate this prospect, this former winner of the Phoenix Series of Invicta, experienced fighter, and I got to do it and look good. Like if Montana goes in there and barely wins, if she wins like a split decision, I'm still not gonna say she's a big threat. I'm still not gonna say that. I'm still not gonna say that because it's gonna take so much more to step out of that box because she skated by with a decision against Miranda Maverick. That's not gonna tell us, oh yeah, she's gonna beat Taylor Santos, and oh, she's gonna beat Roxanne for sure, or Jessica I. You got to dominate. She's got to dominate. Both fighters got to dominate. That's why it's really a win-win. It's really a must-win for both fighters at this point, because Miranda, going back to Miranda, she's got to. You got to learn how to stop them. You got to learn how to beat them in convincing fashion. Because you already see the judge is going to be against Miranda. Whoever it is, the judge is going to be against her in these fights. They're going to be against her. So she's got four opponents. She's got four opponents in there. How the fight would play out. I think that I actually think the striking would favor Miranda Maverick in this fight. I know what you're gonna say, BJ. Look, I know what you're gonna say, but to me, the striking favors Miranda because I think she has better movement, and I think she has better variety. Miranda's willing to feint a little bit. She's willing to flick some jabs out to set up the big punch. She'll throw a couple, flick out a little jab here and then boom, catch you with the body kick. So to me, all around, I think Miranda's striking is better because here's how we gonna measure the striking, B. I'm gonna measure it this way. Look, not even you, BJ. I'm just telling everybody. This is how we gonna measure the striking. All right. Does the striking win Montana rounds? Is she winning rounds clearly off of her striking? That's a question. Does she win rounds clearly off of her striking? Second question. Does Montana get a lot of takedowns off of her striking? Is she getting a lot of takedowns off of her striking? Those are two questions. See, at least you've seen when Miranda came into the UFC, she shut down Liana Jojua's attack. She got hit a few times, right? But she shut down the right hand with the body kick. She went with the body kicks. She went with the forearms. She went with the elbows to the face. She went with the jabs to the face. Every time Liana Jojua tried to cock that right hand up, boom, kick to the body. Much more mixed up. Much more mixed up. Nice variety there. See this? No, BJ, we ain't saying she top level. Like, no. I'm saying that her skills are better suited though. Her skills are a little bit better suited. Okay, coach said Miranda is top level. She won at Phoenix. Yeah. If you look at how they came up, Miranda is much more skilled, and I think she has more talent. Like, if they came up at the same time, Miranda would, let's say if they were both in Invicta at the same time, I'd say Miranda would definitely rise above her as she did in the Phoenix Rising, right? she rises above her because go back to the level of fighter Miranda Maverick had. The level of fighter Miranda Maverick has been fighting. She's never really struggled. Yeah, she lost. She lost twice, but she came back and avenged one of the losses. She came back and avenged the loss against Deanna Bennett in dominant fashion. Good submission win. So I think Miranda's her road beating fighters like Deanna Bennett, Pearl Gonzalez, Victoria Leonardo, beating fighters like that have kind of built up her confidence and her experience level because she's never really struggled with them either. She's never really struggled on the level she's been on. I think that she's been much more polished from the jump. She's been willing to do a little bit of everything. Like some things stand out more. Like yeah, her striking is not A level, but it's a little bit more well rounded. Now going back to Montana, does she have an effective jab? Yeah, yeah. Montana got an effective jab. Montana has an effective jab when she uses it. You know, right hand is effective when she uses it, but the all around mix up of it, uh, I still need to see more. I still need to see a little bit more there. I still need to see a little bit more. I wouldn't see. I don't know, BJ. I don't. I think Pearl Gonzalez is better. I think Pearl Gonzalez is better than a win. I think a win over Pearl Gonzalez is better than Rachel Ostovich. Honestly, I think a win over Pearl Gonzalez is better than Rachel Ostovich. Just because one of them got cut first doesn't mean that person was better. I think Rachel Ostovich. I think Pearl was a better win than Rachel. A win over Jillian Robertson is better than a win over Ariane Lipsky, in my opinion. And it's water. Sorry. He said, but the high level that Montana fought on is above high level. Yeah. No. But I think Maverick would have did better against Arujo. Would she have won? I don't know. But I think Arujo versus Maverick would have been evenly more so evenly fought. And you got to remember, like I said, Deanna Bennett. That's a different level where Miranda was at the time. So I'm not gonna grab her. I say somebody like Pearl and Rachel because they're former UFC fighters. But to me, I think Pearl could actually get back into the UFC before Rachel Ostovich could. That's just to me. So when you look at some of the things that Miranda does with her stand up and some of the things that Montana does with her stand up, I will say this though, it can kind of even out. Something can even out here. That's why the fight needs to happen. And this is why the UFC needs to make this one, just they need to just make this fight for sure because some questions do need to be answered about Miranda, and I want to see more questions answered about Montana striking. Let Montana get another shot at a higher level prospect again. Let's see what happens. Because even whenever Montana was on the lower level, who did she lose to? Like, I know she lost. Did she lose to Cynthia Calvillo way back? Because when she was fighting on that low tier, she was losing though. You were struggling with some fighters. Oh, okay, yeah, BJ, I got your other your message. Yeah, man, it is all about the flyweights right now, man. Like flyweights being a little bit more competitive right now. We get more fights here. Oh shoot, hold on, got to stop my timer. 2B said Maverick Riddell Rose is not on Tracy Cortez's level. 2B's got jokes. Shoot, I need to see a lot more from. He crazy, man. I got to see a lot more from her, man. I need to see more from Tracy Cortez. What Tracy Cortez has beaten? She beat Agapova and she beat Erin Blanchfield. Erin Blanchfield, I think highly of her. So yeah, Tracy Cortez, she got some skills. Okay, that's what I'm getting to, BJ. This is what I'm getting to right here. If if you match them up, that's why I say like neither one of them striking is like, neither one of them has like elite level striking, but Miranda has more of a well-roundedness to her game, and Montana has a she has a very good jab when she uses it, but there's some times in there where she's not executing it, and she still has the danger factor to it. She's got the danger factor. We never know how styles can match up, and yeah, Miranda's got volume. See, Miranda got volume, and yeah, Montana got some pop to her shot. But I think that, to me, I think volume is going to be very effective in this fight. The way she nullified the power puncher and Macy Barber, and even took her best shot. I mean, hit her with like one spinning back fist in the third round, and that was like a wake up call for Miranda. But I mean, other than that, like, I think Miranda's got a good chin, and she's got a good, she has a good approach to canceling out power. So let me look at this. Let me look at this resume here real quick. Hang on one second. Well, Macy be switching it up. Like Macy sometimes be southpaw too, so she be switching. She got power in both hands, so she be kind of trying to switch it up. Hang on, Montana. Yeah, because even when I'm looking back at like some of the early fights, Montana was losing to those promising fighters. You remember that, right? She lost to Mackenzie Dern and Cynthia Calvillo. And they were fighters that we thought highly of even then. People were already looking at them, like Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie Dern came in with this high level jujitsu, and everybody was hyping her up. And when they put her in there with Mackenzie Dern in LFA, she took Montana De La Rosa out, and then she lost to Cynthia Calvillo. So she was already losing to like promising prospects back then too. What you see, like Miranda, when she was fighting those fighters, she was stepping out of the box more so to me. But they were still names to me. They were still the names that everybody was looking out at. You make the weight though. I mean, hey, look, you were 20 what? What was she there? Like 23? She was like 23, 22 back then. I mean, if you make the call to 115, that's you. You making the weight. So I say, let's see, yeah. And then she lost to, of course, she lost to Nico. I remember that on the show, man. Nico put a sheet of blood on her face, man. Like Nico, rugged, rough. So we got to go back and look at some of these fights, like rough and rugged. She's scrappy, but rough and rugged fighters and with good hands, decent hands, good combinations, they're gonna put some hands on you. They'll open her up. They'll open her up. And then I was pissed about the Mayra Bueno Silva fight. I was like, come on, somebody got to win this fight. I was like, somebody's gonna have to step up and win this fight. And that thing ended in a draw. That was disappointing. Like Montana, you can't have draws with these type of fighters. You can't have draws with these type of fighters if you want to step out of the box. So now, at number 15, there's still a lot to prove in this Miranda Maverick fight. And Miranda's got some stuff to prove too. So yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Really want to see I really want to see how the grappling plays out though. Um, what's her only bad showing? The Nico fight? Not the Nico fight. What, the Mayra Bueno Silva fight? I I can't say the Myra Bueno Silva is her only bad showing. I gotta say the Arujo fight is her bad showing too, because that was there for her to win. When that fighter gassed out, she should have taken her down and submitted her. You know what I mean? Like she should have got that. Like bad showing. It was 30-27. Yeah, Vivian Rujo fight was a bad showing because she didn't win. It was 30-27 for Vivian Rujo. She landed punches, but she never won a round. Did she look? Did she hit Vivian Araujo? Yes. She hit Vivian Araujo. Did she win a round? No. No, she didn't. She didn't. But that's going to be her downfall if she doesn't put the strike in the better together, in a much better approach. To be said, De La Rosa's grappling versus Jillian Robertson versus De La Rosa's grappling versus Jillian Robertson and Mackenzie Dern. Oh, Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie Dern already submitted her in the first round before, back in LFA. Mackenzie Dern's is better than Mackenzie Dern's grappling is like, oh man, hers is legendary. Mackenzie Dern is like a Mackenzie Dern is a surgeon with that, man. Like she's got a master's in that. I think when it comes to jujitsu, I think even like grappling, I'm gonna say Mackenzie Dern. Her jujitsu is the best, of course, between the straw weights and the flyweights. You know, just straight jujitsu. Yeah, man, she ain't one to play with. You see that's why neither fighter in the Verna Jandaroba fight wanted to go down to the ground. Like Verna didn't want to take the chance, Dern didn't want to take the chance. That's how much respect they have for each other's jujitsu. They both wanted to strike in that fight. But anyway, back to Montana and Miranda. I'm really interested in seeing how they would how it would look if they wrestled, like how their wrestling would match up. Because Montana is big and Montana knows how to use the head to control. Like, Montana will push that head, she will put that head in the chest, and having that height advantage is going to be problems for Miranda. So I think this has to be a fight where Miranda does utilize the much better striking, the angles, the volume hits, the volume punches, the body kicks, and just completely staying out of her grasp, staying away from the cage. But you never know, though. You never know what could happen. You never know how effective Miranda could be on the ground. She just seems a little bit more athletic to me than Montana. Well, I won't say a little bit, a lot more. She seems like she's got more burst to her, and she can move around much more comfortable on her feet. Because if you look at Miranda's, um, even her fight with Jillian Robertson, taking her to the ground and just being so, being physical with her, and then being able to slip out of the rear naked attempt from Jillian Robertson. She was just really showing some nice athleticism in that fight. But as for Montana, you can't stand in front of her. Can't stand in front of her in this fight. We don't want to get hit with one of those big straight shots. It has to be a fight where, Miranda has to use angles in it and, step around and target the face. Yeah, target the nose. Why am I gonna lie? You got to target the nose. Shoot, Marcus, she owns SUG. She would own it, man. I think Mackenzie Dern would own that thing, man. They probably said, "No, you can't compete. You can't do this, man, because you're gonna beat everybody here. So no, you can't do it." Eh, yeah, man, that nose, man. That's what I'm saying. You hit that nose like a faucet, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what I'm saying. You just, as a fighter with the IQ, you just got to target certain things on a fighter. Yeah, Amanda Leah might be a challenge. She might be a challenge for McKenzie. I was looking at some of her submissions. Who she submit? Did she submit Felicia Spencer? Yeah. Honestly, I think Verna Jandaroba might be a champ. All right, BJ said Maverick Cheney. When was she rocked, man? I want to know. When was she rocked? Getting rocked and getting hit are two different things. Yeah, she might take a shot or two, but like when did she like get buckled? Who buckled her? I didn't know Maverick was Cheney. I'm trying to figure that out. Like, when did she? I've never seen her rock, man, at all her fights. I mean, she got caught by surprise in that spinning back fist with Macy, but I mean, that was the third round, and I think that would have hurt anybody, but it wasn't like she went down. When was she Chinny? I'm trying to think, man. Like, I've seen all her fights. When was she Chinny? She took big punches from Leanna Jojua and still kept coming. She switched up the game and busted open Leanna Jojua's nose. Jillian Robertson didn't rock her because she don't have the hands to rock her. I'm trying to think, man. When did she get rocked? I'm not gonna say that about Montana. You see, man, I ain't gonna say Montana got is chinny. She get hit a lot and busted up, but she ain't chinny. She ain't got no head movement, but she's not chinny. I mean, if you want to say her defense isn't the best, you can say that. But I'm trying to think, man. When was she chinny, man? Come on. Jillian didn't rock her. Jillian touched her maybe, but like she ain't rock her. Like, all right, Chinny and lack of defense are two different things. Like somebody with no defense might like to get hit a lot because they got a good chin. Like somebody with no defense and got a good chin, they don't mind getting hit, but that's not Chinny. Chinny is that buckle, man. Like whenever you get touched, boom, you going down, or your legs are just wobbly. But I don't know. I ain't never seen it. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. You trolling. Yeah, I'm like, you trolling, man. I mean, you making me. I'm thinking. That's why I'm saying. I'm on my game, man. I'm always on my game. That's why I was like, hold up, I'm doing my research. I ain't never seen it. I don't know if Montana's gonna sit her down because I who did she sit down? I think she sat down Mara Romero Barella. That was about it, but she couldn't really sit down nobody else. Like she'll land some good punches, but she won't commit. Yeah, Maverick studying for a PhD. She finishes her doctorate 2022. Yeah, she's definitely not gonna fight forever. She said, definitely not fighting forever. Nobody want to be in the game for like 35 years old and don't, not even a champion. So I mean, side money, UFC is almost like side money from everybody right now. I mean, with the money they making, everybody's complaining about the pay. It's almost like side money for everybody. It's like gas money. Yeah, man. But yeah, I think we might see this fight maybe by the end of the year. I think we might close the year without uh we might close the year with this fight. I don't think that Montana or Miranda want to go without a fight, one more fight this year. I mean, what do y'all think? I mean, December is only a few months away. It's like 3.5 months away. So you might see Miranda Montana done for November or December. Gives everybody a lot of time to prepare for the fight. A good way to close out the year. Um, so yeah, yeah, it's a must win for both fighters, and I think they need each other right now. I mean, that was the fight we were looking forward to before, but with the way Miranda was moving, I was like, oh, I think Miranda's going to surpass Montana. But like I said, when they gave Macy her win. That's how not an L. We're just gonna say they gave Macy her win. They gave Macy her win. They gave her a little setback. So now, with her getting a setback and Ariane Lipsky getting her, you know, clock clean by Montana, boom, she's in the same, she's in the same room with it now. She's like, yo, Miranda, what's up? Montana, what's up? Let's fight. That's how it should be, right? So we could get that, man. We could get that. I could see Montana wanting to do a little bit of striking in this fight. I could see her wanting to do a little bit. I think, she's a bit telegraphed, just, looking back at some of her stand-up exchanges, she's a little bit telegraphed. So there's no need to stand in front of her. You got to move, target her body, gas her out. Um, don't make it a 50-50 fight. Don't take her down to the ground. There's no need for that. Just fight a smart fight. He said Miranda usually gets booked quick, so probably, yeah, yeah. But yeah, man, I just wanted to get on here a little bit earlier because I said I want to talk about this a little bit. This is a fight we need to see. This is gonna, this will be a good matchup. It's um, it's necessary. It's a necessary matchup, in my opinion. Now, so let me get on here early because I don't know if I'll be able to. I'm gonna get back on at 7 tonight or 8. So let's go ahead and talk about this today. The flyweights seem to be active more so than the strawweights. I don't know if that's just me. We seem to be getting some nice little matchups in the flyweight division. Even if everybody feels like their skill levels ain't on the top, the tip top. But to me, we get some good fights. We get some good matchups. Who wins? Miranda. Definitely a must win for both of them though, because either one of them will lose, they're gonna be out of the top 15. Whoever loses gets knocked out of the top 15. So yeah, this is a must win. Oh man, and for the boxing fans, y'all know the Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao fight is off. Errol Spence, his damaged his retina in training. So damn, damn. It's always something, man. All these fights getting canceled, right? Boxing, injuries, boxing and MMA, killing me. All right, so how does excuse me, how does Montana win, BJ? I'm gonna tell you how I think Miranda wins. I think Miranda wins. I think she wins using her speed. I think she does have a speed advantage, and I think she's definitely gonna have to win using good leg attack and body attack. And maybe scoring a takedown here and there, but not spending too much time, in the guard of somebody like Montana. You know, not spending time on the cage. Because yeah, you really don't want someone that big pressing you to the cage. No matter how strong you are. I think it's going to have to be a fight where you don't want it to be 50-50. Go back to, hold on, I was just reading the comment here. Something else. Yeah, you don't want it to be 50-50 for Miranda. You got to use what your opponent lacks. And I think Montana lacks footwork. Yeah, she throws a good jab and she throws some good hard shots, but I think she lacks a footwork. BJ said sub for Montana. Okay. I would say either I would say either like a TKO win for Miranda, like if she really opened her up with her hands and her elbows, with being really rough and rugged. I would say that. I would say the like, decision. I'd say Miranda could win by decision. It'd be tough chopping down a big woman like Montana. Got the 4 inch height advantage, right? 3 to 4 inch height advantage. I think Miranda's 5'3", Montana's like 5'7". But she got the skill. She got the skill to do it. Ravioli said, is Maverick's cardio suspect, or is that just Macy's pressure? It might have been her cardio because it might have been her cardio or just fighting at a high pace for those 2 rounds. I've never really seen her have cardio issues before. I don't know. Maybe it was just this fight, but I don't really think Macy had that much pressure in the first couple rounds. It was Miranda applying the pressure. If you remember, Macy was on the back foot. Macy was actually on the back foot in the first round or two. She didn't come on strong to that third round. So I don't really think it was Macy's pressure. I think maybe she was kind of gassed a little bit, maybe overtraining, other outside stuff, things like that. But yeah, she's never really had like cardio issues in the past. I've seen from what I've seen. She's gone 3 rounds with Jillian on the ground. So, just blowing that load, and like we were saying too, other stuff going on. She's been doing other things outside of the octagon too. So that could have been a factor. Because yeah, she's fought some high paced fights even in Invicta. She's fought a whole night. In the tournament, fighting different fighters. Never really had any issues there. No gas issues there. So I think it was just a night where maybe her applying the pressure to Macy, her doing more of the work and pushing the fight, and just that mental, put all that together. All that mental overload just kind of had her about out in the third. And I won't even say she was about out. Like it wasn't like Arujo. She wasn't like Arujo done. Yeah. 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 First 2 rounds. Yeah. Got a little gassed a little. Yeah. High activity in the first two because she won the first 2 rounds. She pressed the fight in the first round and then, took it to the ground and was pressing the action. So yeah, gassed out a little bit there. You can't press like that the whole fight. There's got to be times when you take a break. That's what Amanda Nunes has been doing. Amanda definitely fights at a slower pace at times. Valentina's very explosive in moments, but Valentina's never fighting the whole fight. She's not a high volume fighter like that. But when she does attack, the attack um is very accurate and precise and deadly. That's why I say going into a fight with Montana, that will be something to look out for. To fight at a good pace. To win every round clearly. Dominant, but don't let Montana catch up because Montana can go 3 rounds. She's never really being, finished by some of these girls, even a high level. Uh, Arujo got a great snap and jab, and she was hitting Montana with some very, very good punches in that fight, busting her up, but she still wouldn't go down. So it's gonna be a tough task. It'll be a tough task just in that, just to keep her back, just to keep her off. So yeah, you have to be sharp, and you have to be in there for 3 rounds. Yes, sir. But what else? Side fight here. I know you BJ brought up that Andrea Lee and Jillian Robertson fight. I like that fight. Um, do I think they would make it happen? This one's tougher to say. Like, I think Montana and Miranda would fight before Jillian and Andrea Lee, just because I think they would probably try to give Andrea Lee a higher fight now. They might try to give Andrea Lee a higher fight just because, she beat Antonina in such dominant fashion. Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. Antonina Shevchenko, the way she got dominated by Andrea Lee, that's something the UFC might want to ride off of right now. They're going to say, oh man, she destroyed Valentina's sister. So now let's try to get her back into the top 10 as ASAP. They might try to do that. But let's say they did make the fight. Let's say they did give Jillian Robertson the fight. Um, will they make it though? I don't know because what Jillian's coming off of 2-fight losing streak right now, right? And they probably wouldn't think that'd be fair to Andrea Lee. So hold on. Let's do this is some MMA math we're doing here. All right, hold on. Let me just pull this. I'm gonna pull up Jillian Robertson's resume. All right, hold on. Here we go. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. She's on a 2-fight losing streak now. So I I'd like the fight. I would want her to get that fight with Andrea Lee, but with Andrea Lee getting the win over Antonina Shevchenko, I think they would put Antonina. Excuse me. I would think they would put Andrea Lee in there with somebody in the top 10. They would do that. Just my way of thinking on how they would do that. They wouldn't want her fighting another, unranked fighter. They would put her back in there with somebody in the top 10. Who could she fight? How the fight would play out? I don't know. Andrea Lee looking strong in that fight with Antonina, though. She was looking good with her striking and her judo, but I don't think it'll be that easy on the ground with Jillian Robertson. Jillian Robertson would not be. I don't think she would be handled the same way. That's why Jillian needs to step up her striking, man. Like Jillian Robertson, young as she is, and as scrappy as she is on the ground, I mean, like, why can't she? Why can't she let them hands go when she's standing, man? Why can't she do that when she's standing? Like when Jillian gets a fighter to the ground, she's like very scrappy, like a street fighter. She starts letting her hands go, but when she's standing, she doesn't know how to like cut off the ring, cut off the octagon, and she doesn't really know how to throw with that type of force. Like she can't establish a good jab in there. That's why I say if she goes into this fight, her striking has to be very effective against Andrea Lee. Because I think if she lands on Andrea Lee and she gasses Andrea Lee, because Andrea Lee's gas tank can be a little bit suspect at times. It can be a little suspect. I think Jillian's gas tank is a little bit better in some ways, especially on the ground. Because that's the thing about Jillian. When she want to get to the ground, she seems more comfortable. Like she'll get kind of a second wind and continue to fight. But sometimes Andrea Lee, she can start to kind of push air. She'll start blowing air, pushing pushing those punches hard. Seems like she's having a hard time getting the combination off, and she starts to be open to shots, which is why she didn't get the victory over JoJo. And the fight shouldn't have been as close against Lauren Murphy because she wasn't committing enough to getting out of the way, moving her head because she was gassing. So Jillian, it would be that would be a good step up for her. That'd be another chance for her to get back in there. But that's the only thing that would be stopping this thing is trying to get Andrea Lee back into the top 10. But let's say if the fight happened, man, I like that fight. I do like that fight. That's what was supposed to happen before. I think Jillian, is gonna need a way to get the fight to the ground early, and she's got to be quick with it, man. Like you got to be quick. You got to have defense. You got to move your head from Andrea Lee's jab and let Andrea Lee punch herself out. Take a page out of Roxanne's book. Roxanne defeated Andrea Lee twice. I was like, damn. You know, you don't have to have the best strike in the land on Andrea Lee. If Jillian Robertson puts her hands together like Roxanne level, at least, oh man, you put your hands together like Roxanne level on Andrea Lee, you can get the fight to the ground. I'm gonna say it again. Roxanne's stand up is better than Montana. It's better than quite a few grapplers out there. Roxanne's got some effective stand up. So if Jillian Robertson takes a page out of that book, man, yeah, that would be her effective way of getting fights to the ground. Like Roxy don't really like to strike either. Like you can tell, like it's not like something she likes to do, but she makes it work. She'll make it work. So Andrea Lee versus Jillian Robertson. That's what she needs to really win that fight. Like she's got the ground game. I think she has the ground game all around. Like I think her jujitsu and her even fighting off of her back. I think her fighting in on top. Her activity. I think her ground and pound is very effective. Jillian's, that is. I think her ground and pound is very effective. But to get it there, you got to have some stand up game. Because I think Andrea Lee been training with since Andrea Lee's been training with Tisha Torres and them. Andrea Lee's been training with Tisha Torres a little bit, Miranda Maverick and them. So she's kind of been getting back into something new. She's kind of been committing more to her her offense a little bit more. I mean, what she was doing with her judo in that fight, it was impressive against Shevchenko, but that's not saying a lot because Antonina's not going to be in there trying to grapple. She's a little bit stiffer than her sister. She doesn't really have the athleticism like Valentina. So what she did against Antonina, it was impressive to a certain level. Yeah, yeah. Hold on, I'm just on the move here, so let me see what y'all saying here. Ravioli said it took Andrea Lee a long time to get that submission. It did. It took her a long time. Like she had that triangle. It was like she didn't know if she wanted an arm bar or she wanted a triangle, and she was like wearing her leg out. She was trying to wear her legs out. I was like, oh, like come on, like choke her out already. Like, are you gonna ground and pound her? Are you gonna triangle choke her? Are you gonna get the arm bar? What you gonna do? I mean, she got it though. I mean, as long as she took, Antonina never got out of it. She was never able to get out of it. Mark said, will UFC book Barber versus Modifier rematch 265 since Roxy needs the opponent? I hope it's Santos versus Modifier, but who knows? I'd rather it be Santos versus Roxy. Yeah, I want Taylor versus Roxy. I don't want no Macy versus Roxy rematch. Yeah, we gotta go back to that fight that was supposed to happen. Macy versus Roxy. No, excuse me. Make a turn here. Let's do Roxy versus Taylor. Man, it seemed like they really trying to avoid making that fight for real. If they sign that fight, we all better pray. We all better pray and keep our fingers crossed nothing goes down. Yeah, BJ said Jillian will grind Andrea Lee. Yeah, she's got to grind her, man. She got to make them, she's got to press it to the cage, take away the legs, gas her out. 2B said, wasn't Taylor Santos not in any trouble whatsoever on the ground with Jillian? I feel like her grappling is overrated a bit. Yeah, Taylor was never in trouble because she was just so big and she was just so much more athletic. Like Jillian almost what I won't even say almost. Jillian tried to go for that one arm bar against Taylor, but Taylor being so much bigger and stronger, I remember she put the knee in Jillian Robertson's face just to separate it and make her give. Like she put that knee in Jillian Robertson's face and she had to let go because she's so much bigger and stronger. And that's kind of her weakness. When you looked at fighters like her and Miranda Maverick, those fighters with just as good at grappling, but they also have the athleticism and the strength. That's when she has problems. But I think her grappling against Andrea Lee would be much more. I think it would be effective. I don't think Andrea Lee is as strong as Taylor or Miranda. I think they're so much more physically stronger. That's why they were able to overpower Jillian Robertson. But Roxy had good moments with Andrea Lee on the ground. I think Jillian has at least the strength of Roxy, maybe a little bit more that would give Andrea Lee problems. I do. I do. I think the fight would be a little bit more even on the ground. But yeah, Taylor Santos was just too big and too athletic. And her ground game, yeah, it's good. It's good, man. She knew the moves that Jillian Robertson was gonna go for. Yeah, I don't want no rematch. Yeah, Stamina. I don't want no rematch. I really don't. I'd rather just 266. You put on that Taylor Roxanne. Shoot, we have put that on. We have Taylor Roxy fight. Then we have Manon and Myra Buena Silva fight. That would make my night. And then of course you got Valentina and Lauren Murphy. Then you have Andrade and Calvillo. Yeah. They need to put that together. Put that together for sure. Y'all know I'm on my phone. I got two phones, but this one's on like 15%. So if I go out, y'all know why. 15%. I'm in the red. MMR, what's up, man? He said, do you think it's reasonable for Amanda to say she won't be ready to fight by December and try to postpone it further? Or December is enough time for her to prepare? I think December is enough time for her to prepare art for real. I think that's enough time. I mean, she's no longer positive, right? And she can do this in her sleep now. This is her thing. Come on, you're a champion. I think the weight might be the issue. Y'all, anybody ever think about that? The weight might be the issue for her because she hasn't fought at 135 in 2 years. That might be one reason why she wanted to press this thing back. And she kind of been chilling too. So I think it was the weight. Did anybody ever mention the weight? I know we all kind of just been thinking she been chilling, but chilling leads to weight gain. Family stuff, dealing with problems, dealing with kids, dealing with keeping the family together. That leads to weight gain. You ain't gonna really have time to sit around. I mean, you're gonna be sitting around, but you ain't gonna really have time to be getting that weight off like you need to. So that was, somebody like Amanda Nunes, the training part, I think that's a given. She knows that she knows what drill to do. She knows what sparring to do, how much sparring she needs to do. But when it comes down that weight, that might be the thing. That weight. So I think she can get the weight off in December, of course, though. I think she can, unless she's walking around like it's gonna be rough. If she's walking around like at 160 again, like 175, before she walking around like 170, So she need to be on it by October. But December is enough time to get that off. I think so, yeah. I don't want this thing postponed to 2021. It's not like that bigger fight. You know what I mean? So, they just need to go ahead and get this thing right. Get this thing inked. Barber's knee injury caused the stoppage, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them running back. It wasn't stopped. Are you talking about the Roxy fight? Yeah, the Roxy fight went 3 rounds. Roxy and Macy went 3 rounds. I mean, her performance started to lack in the second and third round, but Roxy was doing good in the first round. Roxy was on her way to beating Macy Barber, I think, anyway, from the first round because she was outstriking her and taking her to the ground. But yeah, that fight went the distance. Macy's hard to stop. Even the Miranda fight, she can't stop Macy that easy. Savage Maverick beats Del Rosa 10 out of 10. Damn, I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I like a lot of others maintain when I lost that fight no matter what. In case they would see Macy rise over matchups over rematch. Yeah, girl. 2B said Nunes walks around at no less than 155, 160. She walked around heavier than that. Like about 2 or 3 years ago, she walked around like 170. She walked around with an extra 10 pounds on there. But yeah, I think it's the weight thing. I don't think anybody really thought about that. Everybody just kind of like, she's scared or she's lazy. But let's call it what it is. I mean, like somebody could be chilling, but they could get up and say, I fight when I want because it's the ego. But if your weight is bigger than your ego, that weight gonna really postpone the fight. MJ said she was out of shape when she was fighting GDR, and yeah, yeah, in 2 years, 2 years ago, 2 years, shoot, you come back and fight at bantamweight, that's gonna be a rough weight cut. Ain't been at bantamweight in 2 years. Mary Thomas, what's up? I totally agree, but the UFC likes making stupid matchups. Oh, shoot, on 5% now. Might be gone here in a minute. Well, hold on, I can switch phones. Oh shoot, I've been out here juicing these things out, man. I'm working. Europe, Europe. All right. Said Nabosh, I just realized that the UFC released Laura Procopio last month. Did they? Wow. Wow, they cut her? Why? Wow, I didn't know they cut her, man. That's kind of messed up. I thought she was all right. Dang. 2B said, who knows, maybe that bad cut turns into a win for Pena. Probably. Like that's gonna be the issue. Wait, to me, because we know skill set ain't on, we know skills ain't Nunes' thing. Ain't gonna be no sign of that. Ain't no sign of her losing because of skills. It'll be probably because of laziness or weight. I feel bad for Pena. I think Dana White is on Nunes her side. He knows something. Uh-oh. BJ sleepwalking. Look, BJ is sleepwalking. The Montana TKO's man. She ain't TKO on nobody. She ain't got no hands to TKO nobody. She ain't got no hands to TKO this. Man, shoot. Okay, hold on, y'all. I gotta switch this thing up here. Still in there? Okay, hold on. Yeah, there we go. All right. I had to switch it up. Can you hear me? Yeah, y'all can hear me. I think you can hear me. Turn the volume up. I'm about to get up off of here in a minute anyway. So I was just making a move today, so I wasn't gonna get on here at 7. But yeah, y'all. Yeah, that's what I was talking about today anyway. Just this flyweight matchup that kind of makes kind of interest of holds the interest of a lot of fans. And yeah, man, that's what it's all about. Like, I look at all levels of fighters, man. Like, I look at these low level fighters. I look at the underground fighters. I like to play matchmakers with these fighters on all levels. It's not just about the top 10. That's like casual fan stuff to me. So I'm not just somebody that's looking at that. So I'm looking at the next move for a fighter like, Miranda or Montana. What makes sense? And I think a lot of people do. So not a lot of people do, but some that are dedicated to sport do, man. But it's a must. It's a must happen now. That's my final thoughts on that, yo, for sure. BJ, wake up. You think Miranda's gonna lose to Montana? Wake up. Oh man, I don't know. I got a little bit of time here. I might just have to switch up when I get in here. I might have to get on my laptop though. But no, I got something to do. Hold on. I remember Nico busting her up real good. Miranda's just a little too versatile for Montana. Yeah, they better book that fight. I think they'll have us to thank. I think the fans will have us to thank, because it's happened before. They be looking, Invicta FC. I'll be hitting them up behind the scenes sometime, and I'll be like, hey, what about this fight? What about this fight right here? And they come together because some of that stuff, they do, they do. They're gonna book this one. They'll probably book this in like November, December. Watch. Anything else just don't really make any sense at this point for either fighter. If they do, it's just to spite us probably. They're gonna just do it to spite us, man. But yeah, BJ, watch. They make this fight. We're gonna be talking trash. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be trolling your channel, BJ. Watch. I'll be trolling BJ's channel. We gonna tag BJ channel up with fear. That's it. We gonna put fear in BJ. When they make this fight, yeah, watch. BJ, I'm gonna we're gonna put the fear in BJ and MDLR. Yes, sir. Oh man. Actually, I'm done, man. It's like 90 degrees out here still. Shoot. Yeah, I am done. Man, 6 miles too. I'm done. 6 miles. I need to dry off now. I need to cool off. Woo. You should, BJ. You should. You always gotta have full confidence in your girls like that. Yeah, you should. Yeah, I don't think she will lose. I don't think she will. He said Miranda lost. They'll call her hype chain. They probably would, but I don't think she is, and I don't think she will lose. Yeah, BJ, man. Got that confidence, boy. But we gonna put the fear.
and put the fear in you on your chest. Watch, when this fight happen, who else is gonna promote it like that, right? Who else gonna be promoting the fight like that? I don't know about Casey versus Joju. I think it'll be a good fight too. You know, one of those low level fights that are good. You know, that people are gonna miss. But yeah, I ain't putting money on that fight. But yeah, I've been on here about an hour and 15 just talking, man. And yeah, I'm about to roll out, y'all. Shout out to everybody in the chat. And yeah, if you ain't catch the live stream, you know, just leave in the comment section what y'all think of this fight. My final thoughts. They need to make Miranda versus Montana. Um, yeah, this is a fight that makes sense. This fight makes sense for both of them right now. But y'all let me know in the comment section. Let me get up out of here, y'all. Combo Breaker 99. I am out. Miranda TKO's Montana. Peace.